Hi everybody, thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. Today I'd like to share with you how I came up with the art for Rain Girl animation that I posted on Instagram a few weeks ago. If you look at my first YouTube video, which is right here, I talked about the 3 guidelines that I use for myself when coming up with content or idea for Instagram. I want to give you a brief recap of what those 3 guidelines are. The first one, it has to have a compelling story or quote behind it. I like to look for things that will spark an emotion in people or when people read it. Number 2, I tend to stay within my niche or theme of cute girls and cute outfits. If you look at my Instagram page, you'll kind of get an idea of the subject matter I tend to focus my art on. Number 3, I tend to look for things that I can animate within those parameters of the artwork. It can be something very subtle in the background or something on a more major level. The other day I saw a picture of Kate Middleton wearing a beautiful black dress that had a pattern of white birds all over. It was a dress designed by Jonathan Saunders. I liked the dress so much that it actually inspired me to create an animation for it. But I didn't want to just draw a pretty dress where people just glance at it and, oh, okay, there's no story behind it. So here, this is where I pull my guideline number 1, where it has to have a compelling story or quote. I went to Pinterest to look for quote inspiration, and I found one that I thought would be a good story, and it was, "Do not judge. You do not know the storms I have asked her to go through. God." I thought that might be a very interesting story behind the drawing because it's also a gentle reminder that we can't judge other people. We don't know what they're going through. I thought that would be an interesting, thought-provoking story or quote behind the drawing. I'd like to share with you what I'm seeing on my computer monitor right now, so give me a second here to switch. I decided to draw a girl with that dress standing under an umbrella. And for added visual interest, I added origami birds in it, which is kind of a reflection of the pattern on her dress. This is a really important thing to keep in mind, aspect ratios. For Instagram, I try to avoid creating things that are widescreen format or the long format because Instagram tends to prefer square, so that's something I keep in mind when I'm creating the artwork. As you can see here in Photoshop, I made the drawing about 10% opacity. So you still can kind of see the lines, and I use them as a guide. At the end, I get rid of all that line drawing. Then I add the flat colors. Next, I add the little details like her eyelashes, her lips, and one of my favorite parts is adding the blush. I don't know why, but I have so much fun adding blush. It's almost like I'm breathing life into my characters when I do that. I also pay attention to her hair. I try to avoid using one single color for her hair because then it looks kind of flat and dull. So I add highlight, shadow, and maybe a little sheen to showcase a shiny, healthy set of hair. And I do that with all the girls I draw, by the way. So then I paint in the dress pattern and then the umbrella, and I paint in the origami birds. As you can see, my painted origami birds don't really line up with my initial sketch, and that's okay. This is part of the process where I improvise the composition. Then I add the dark background so it's fitting for a stormy sequence. Then I bring it into After Effects. I gotta add some light for atmosphere and mood. It's like the light is coming from inside of the umbrella, and I make sure to add shadows and that are cast by the birds. It adds to the depth and the magical atmosphere. And once I animate the rain, ta-da! Here is the final animation. So this was one of my very first Kate Middleton inspired animation that I did for Instagram. I posted this a couple weeks ago. If you asked me today, what would you do different about it? My answer would be I probably would have taken a step further and animate those origami birds flitting around her. I think that would have been more interesting. Yes, it would have been a lot more work, but it would have been so much fun. Anyway, there's always next time. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please click the like and subscribe button. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye guys!